Hello, welcome to the Word with Wiggy. I am your host, Wiggy, of course, aka Christina Wiggins. That's my real name. I am here with Mo, who I met as Simone back in college. But when she's a cool podcaster, we call her Mo. So
Yes.
that's Mo.
Hello, I'm Mo. You're not letting me live in this
Ah.
name. Like people have to know me as Mo.
No,
This is
you
a whole
are
different
Mo.
persona.
You have to really I'm gonna say it every time. I'm gonna try my best. But I was even thinking, I was like, she might randomly call me Christina sometimes because I feel like you don't call me Wiggy.
Oh, that's
Not
true.
for real.
That's very true.
You
I
really
don't.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like when I meet you as something, that is who you are. Like, don't
Agreed.
try to
I
come back
agree.
and change your name. But her stage name is Mo. That's what we say. And my stage name is Wiggy. You know,
Okay.
that's how we're doing it. So, welcome to our podcast, and we're going to start off with our first segment. How are we doing this week? I could kick it off. Honestly, I feel like I don't know if I'm stressed, I have anxiety, or I'm just PMSing. In all honesty, yesterday, like the last 2 days, I've been irritated. Like I want to like fight everyone, and it's really for
Mm.
no reason. I'm mad almost at everyone, but they're not doing anything to me. They didn't do one thing to me.
Listen, I had to look and see where the planets were aligned this week because a lot of people with your energy are finding me.
Look, but I haven't been going off on people, but I've been wanting to. Like, I have to just like I've been removing myself. Like, I'm like, let me just like okay, like for example, yesterday I was just not in a good mood for most of the day, but I did start off the day with an appraisal at work when it's like my day was off. But I don't know. I literally started my day. I woke up at 6 a.m. God woke me up at 6 a.m., which doesn't happen all the time. And I woke up without an alarm. So I was like, you know, I'm not going to go back to sleep. I had saw this video recently about like God woke you up, but you went back to sleep. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to go back to sleep. I read my Bible. I had praise and
That's
worship.
good.
I prayed. And you would think that that would have took me through a day of just zen. No, I was still mad. I was like, dang, I'm still mad and I prayed. But you know what? I guess that's life sometimes.
No
But
culprit. You can't think of anything where this started. No triggers.
no, I think I'm just PMSing. And like the week before my cycle, I'm just really uh a mean person. And I'm self aware enough to know that. And I just get very easily irritated. Like once it actually starts, I'm really happy. It's like a weird situation.
We're gonna have to look something up for that. I'm gonna need you to find a
Yeah.
vitamin.
Yeah, I've been trying to take my vitamins, but I just know when it's coming. Like when I want to snap on somebody, I look at the calendar. I'm like, what's today's date? I'm like, let me look. I'm like, oh, okay, we're about a week out. So that's been how I've been doing, and I've just been really busy. Work has been really busy. Hoping that the phone does not ring while we're recording right now. Hopefully, I'll just look at it, but hopefully there's no emergencies. But
Oh yeah, I gotta
it's
put
been
mine on do
super
not
busy.
disturb.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on silent at least. But yeah, it's just been really busy at work, which I'm like grateful for, because but also
That means
like
money is coming.
yes, money is coming, but also like hold on. Like, I still have life. We're starting this, which I don't want to stress us out at all. And then I still have Omari. Like we're still moms. Oh yeah, Mo is a mom too. Mo mommy, Mo money, more mommy. We're still moms. Like, and you're a real mom. You have like a billion kids.
Well, wait.
I'm just kidding, guys. Taylor has
We're
three.
both real moms. But
Yeah,
yes, I have
yeah.
three. So I mean, don't downplay yourself. Don't matter if it's one or if it's three.
It's true because it's just like, it's too much. And then you have your own personal time. So I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, whew, but I think that's just adult life. And like, I feel like I'm turning into my mom, like this is what her life was
Yeah.
doing everything. But I don't know if she did anything for herself. So I added that part. So it's even more.
Take yourself a trip.
Yeah, I have some trips planned for the end of the year. So hopefully I can make it till then. But what's going on with you? You said that people been going off on you or you've been running into people like me.
Yeah. I've had like three people crash out on me this week. And so first, I'm a very calm person. And so usually when somebody goes off on me, I just wonder, you must be going through something because I know I didn't do anything to you. So like I can still handle you with grace that first time because I'm like, this is very odd because there's no reason for you to give me that much anger. But the second time I have to address it and, you know, are you being accountable? Because I'm confused. I never understand why people go off on me because I really mind my business and I try my best to allow everyone to be whomever they are. But something is in the air. People are
Yeah.
snapping. People are
Yeah,
snapping this
maybe
week.
it is something in the air. I don't know, but it needs to get off me. We gotta have to rebuke that spirit because I don't like to
Rebuke
be
it.
I don't like to be like that, but I just I explained mine. I don't know what's going on with everybody else, but I know what's going on with me. It's the hormone levels. But yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm gonna be okay.
yeah, we're all gonna be okay. Hopefully, we can come back next episode with like something joyous or exciting. But that's where we're at right now, and it's real,
Yeah.
and
It
it
is
is.
real because listen, I've been having my like I almost always listen to gospel music, but I had to get in my praise and worship heavy because I'm like, Lord, somebody's about to make me react. I am about to
Yeah,
have a reaction.
and I don't want.
And I don't want to. I don't want to. So yeah, I've been heavy into praise and
Yeah.
worship this week. I was when I logged on here, I had music going
Oh,
actually.
you did.
Like, yeah.
I did hear that. No, no, I totally get that. I've been having praise and worship on heavy too because I'm like, you know what? This is just what I don't need nothing else right now. I need something. All I need is Holy Spirit. But okay, so this is gonna serve as our intro episode. We're gonna tell you guys why we're doing this, what's gonna happen. So why we're doing this is we are really curious about what the Bible actually says. Right now, there's a lot of chatter on the internet, on everywhere. People are changing. I feel like they're changing the definition of Christianity, especially in America. I'm not sure what's going on overseas, but I feel like in America, things are changing, things are shifting. And so I feel like we should just really, our platform can be one that I feel like there's too many platforms that just bash people and they're just like, you're wrong, you're this, you're
Right.
dumb, I don't want to be like that because I don't think like Jesus has some sass to him for sure. Like he did say some stuff that you're like, oh my God, clutch your pearls. But I don't ever remember him being nasty or like belligerent with people. So I feel like for our podcast, if we're just presenting the facts, we're literally just presenting the Bible in context. We are going to read the Bible. We're going to read reputable translations, and we're going to go to the context, commentaries, all the things that we need to do to really unearth what the original text said, what the original Greek said, what the original Hebrew said.
And
And
really breaking it down for everybody to understand. Like, I just want it to be a safe space. Sometimes I have
yes,
questions, and I don't want you to make me feel any type of way for not knowing, Jesus's whole lineage or the story
yeah,
of whatever parable or whatever. Like, don't make me feel any type of way. Just teach me. That's it.
yeah, that's what I think too. I don't like when no one needs to feel dumb. Honestly, it should be fun. When I first started learning the Bible, it's still fun to me. Like, I kind of actually fell off. I haven't been reading my Bible in a while, if we're going to be completely transparent. Before maybe like year 2020, I read my entire Bible all the way through. It took me about a year and a half. Maybe I might have went into 2021, I think. I'm pretty sure. But I made it fun because it's just once you start, you're just so engrossed in it. Even now,
Yeah.
when I've started again, it took me a while to start again because I think I was just going through like some type of mental something.
Mhm.
But now that I've started again and studying, it's like it's so much fun. Like, and it should be that. It shouldn't be intimidating. And you should always be able to answer any questions. And if you go into a church that doesn't allow you to have questions, I advise you to find a new one.
Or even, sometimes the pastor will like start a scripture and then like everybody in the church will finish it and you're like, ooh, I ain't know that one.
Yeah. Like what? Let me
Because the
get up.
Bible said,
Yeah. Yeah. But some people will know what it said, but they don't know where it's at, which is fine too. It's like
very
as long as you
true.
know the scripture, but it's
That is
like
me.
you just know
That's me.
because you're in church and we hear it all the time. Because I say it, I think it was like last week or the week before. I was telling one of my friends, I was like, "Oh, I'm about to see you the scripture." I was like, it's the one where it's like, what you, I don't know, like, oh, I'm making you wait, but like it's gonna be worth the wait, basically.
Hmm.
And then I was like, where is it? I could not find it for nothing. I was like, I know it's in the Bible. I was like, I have read it before. I had to like Google it. I was like, I have no idea, but I'm like, I know I'm quoting scripture.
Here's
You
what's
know,
crazy. So have you heard of Awana?
Awana.
Awana is like, it was like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, but like
Oh
the Christian
yes,
one.
yes,
So we would
yes.
earn badges for scriptures and
I
stuff.
was
I
I
used
think
to
I've seen
have
the
so many
logo.
badges, but now I can tell you the words and I have no idea. Yeah, no
Yeah,
idea where
like
it
where
came
it's
from.
at.
For the wages of sin is death.
And facts. And you know what? Some of those scriptures too, like I don't know if it's one of those, but like they're in there multiple times, and you're like,
Yeah.
it says this everywhere. So it's like, okay, I just
Mhm.
know it. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. What was my next thing? Oh yeah, what did Jesus actually say? Because y'all
Yes.
be putting stuff on Jesus that he didn't say, and we're not going to allow it to happen anymore. It's not happening.
Not gonna lie on my God.
We are not doing it. Like, just stop that. And then, do we know what we believe as Christians? That's actually what drove me to start reading my Bible in the first place. Like, because I don't know if you've ever met somebody or if you've been the person that you're like arguing with somebody who's not a Christian or an atheist or I don't know, a Muslim or even like a Jehovah's Witness, you know, who
Mhm.
somebody that really but you're like, no, I disagree with you, but you have no idea why you disagree. This podcast is for you because we need to know why I think that's important. I don't think that y'all I don't think any of us should just believe something and we don't know why. I mean, it's cool, I
Yeah.
guess. I guess that's just great faith. Maybe you have more faith than me, but I would love to really tell people about Jesus and and know know like what to say or what Jesus said or I don't know. That's how I
Well,
feel.
like when I was at Baylor, I actually met an atheist for the very first time. I had
At
never,
Baylor.
at Baylor, and
Whoa, why would you
I was
go
like, why
there?
did you come here?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But it had something to do with like some scholarships and her parents. I don't even remember. But anyway, in having conversations with her, because we weren't arguing or butting heads. I was like, how did you get here? Like that
Yeah.
was never even an option for me, you know?
Right. How'd you
Never
get
even
there?
considered that.
Oh,
So
wow.
we were having those conversations. And even in talking to her, I was like, man, I know a lot of stories.
Mhm.
I know, a lot of random scriptures, but I don't actually know the Bible. Like I can tell
Yeah.
you about Paul and some stuff he did, Moses and some stuff he did, but like I didn't really have anything else, just a bunch of random
Yeah.
stories. And I was like,
Yeah.
huh, I
Or like
really,
what it means to like us as Christians that
yeah.
that even happened. Yeah, for sure.
And that was when I really realized like I need to actually get back into this as an adult because I felt like as a kid I just picked up, like I said, a bunch of random stories and
Mhm.
greater themes, broader, high level themes, but I hadn't gotten into it really for myself.
Yeah. And I feel like we're gonna have such a great time. Like this is gonna be such a journey. I haven't read the Gospels probably like in a year or two. So I'm really excited. So we are starting in the Gospels. I believe, I mean, depends on if Mo gets tired of this at some point. But me, honestly, if once we're rolling, we're rolling. So our first season is we're gonna just do the Gospels. So the first season we're gonna do Matthew because it's gonna take us a little bit to we don't want to rush through it. We want to really dive deep. So we're starting in Matthew because it's the first one. And we're starting in the Gospels because it tells the story of Jesus. So if we really want to know what Jesus said, why we're Christians, because we're Christians because we believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, let's just start with Jesus. We will also show where Jesus in the New Testament relates to the Old Testament so that we can
Hmm.
see how everything is connected because that's when it gets cool.
But I also feel like, because I feel like there have been several times throughout my life where I've tried to read the Bible, like, oh, let's read the Bible in a year. January 1st, I'm in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But then I feel like a lot of times that connection between New Testament or Old Testament, or like there's just some background information that you just don't know if you just start somewhere. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you
Yeah.
start. There's
Yeah.
always like, so you kind of got to read. I feel like you got to read it twice because you got to read it to get all the information and then you got to read it
Mhm.
again to like put it back and connect different
Oh,
things.
I definitely agree with that. I read the whole thing just once, like, okay, let me just get through it. I was taking notes and stuff. I was going deep,
Yeah.
but I think, and I also say, don't put a time limit on trying to read the Bible because reading it in
A
a year, or
year ain't
I didn't
it.
even see one that it was like in a month. Man, please, like you will get burnt out so quick. Like, just read, just start, and when you finish. Like, just go from there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do, yeah, I do think it just helps to I don't know. I was doing like little Bible plans to help me with to just make it fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so wait, do we have anything else? It connects to the Old Testament. Okay. I'm gonna give us a little background on Matthew. Just so we prepare for our next episode. Next episode, we're gonna read Matthew 1 and 2. And then just for it prepares you for the rest of the season, just knowing I believe when you read the Bible, I like to know the context first. I don't know. I guess I just keep saying it makes it fun, but to me it just makes it more I understand it more. And when you understand it, you want to read it more. So knowing who the author is of any book of the Bible to me, I like that. Knowing when it was written, because I don't know, that's just interesting. Like he wrote this way after, not way, way after, but he didn't write this like the day after Jesus died. Like it's been a while. He's been like
Right.
in hiding. I don't know if y'all knew that the disciples had to go into hiding because people were like killing them. Who the audience originally was, because I think we tend to think that the Bible was written directly to us.
To us.
And I hate to burst
Yeah.
our main character bubble, but it's not about you per se, but you can use it for your life. It will be you. It's great for your life, but it's not written to you initially. The reason why it was written and the theme. So as far as Matthew, let me look at my little handy notes here. There are some critical scholars actually that deny that Matthew is the author, but there are also some that say he is. The claim that he is not the author is because the version of Matthew we have is in Greek, right? But they say it was originally written in Hebrew. But some people feel like the Greek translation does not look like it could have come from Hebrew. So
Oh,
it's just a little
who do they
debate
think wrote it?
they don't know. They don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. They don't even know. So we're just going to say it's Matthew. Matthew was a
Yeah.
disciple and he was a former tax collector. Little background there as far as people always mentioning that he was a tax collector because tax collectors were like, what would a tax collector be in modern day society? Like a hated occupation that people like
Like an auditor?
yes, nobody likes the auditor. Nobody. But even worse because it was like he was like a basically he was a tax collector for the Roman government and so his people, the Jewish people felt like he was going against them because you're helping them tax us. And
Okay.
so he was hated basically by his community. So when he was taken in by Jesus, it was a big deal. He wrote this gospel, it said around AD 50 to 55. So that's like 50 years after Jesus died essentially, right? Because when did Jesus
Mhm.
die? He had to die before AD, right? Because AD is after
Right.
death. Yeah.
I
So
thought
he
it
wrote it
yeah.
quite a while after. He probably was an old man hiding in a cave somewhere. You really gotta watch the show The Chosen, bro. You have to.
I am, I am, I am, I
It's
am, I
on.
am.
I think the first seasons are on Netflix. I mean, this is the thing. The Chosen is not a historical fact, but I just love how it's like it could have been happening. Like we don't have any of that in the Bible to know.
The thing is, you told me to watch that, and then right at that same time was when everybody started talking about Paradise on Hulu. So
I started watching that last night.
I
Actually,
started Paradise on Hulu instead of The Chosen. I gotta get back on
it's
track.
okay. It's okay. It's okay because Paradise is. I'm not going into that right now. We may talk about that next week during our icebreaker, but because woo, that's my mind. Anyway, they say that he most likely wrote this from Antioch, but I forgot to look up where Antioch would be on my little Bible map app. I sent you that last night, but
Mhm.
I didn't look at it. So just if you're listening, if you can find out where that is, and then it means something to you, go look it up. The original audience of Matthew is mostly Jewish people. The content is very heavily focused on Jesus being the Messiah, the King of the Jews. So I feel like well, we'll go into the reason. The reason he wrote it, trying to show the Jewish people that Jesus was the Messiah that they had been waiting for. So basically, I feel like my understanding is even after Jesus rose from the dead, there were still Jewish people who were like, nah, like we don't believe it yet. They're still not Christians. So he's
Mhm.
writing to them like, hey, I know you've been waiting for the Messiah. He didn't show up the way you thought he was going to show up, but this is the guy and he shows it through the fulfillment of prophecy that we're going to talk about a lot for next week. So
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. I actually really like that you did that because now having read some of the stuff that I read, I was like, yeah, that is an ongoing theme throughout. Like that
mhm,
actually does fit the reason. So yeah, we'll definitely probably refer back to that several times
mhm.
throughout the next
Yes,
few episodes.
yeah, yeah. But so you see how like just doing, and we're gonna do that probably for every book. So we already did that for Matthew. We'll
Yeah,
go through Matthew, but when we get to Mark, we'll do the same thing. Just because to me, it just gives me more of a setup for
it
when I'm reading.
does. It does. Now that you said it, I'm like, oh, I wish I had known that before I read it. I would have read it kind of in a different tone, I guess, but
Yes, and I
it
got
comes back
these
anyway.
from a Bible study. I don't know if they still sell them. They probably do because why would you stop selling something that's good? But I have this Bible study book, and it's actually called The Bible Study, and they have a.
I have them. I
You
have
have it?
them.
Well, you
Yes,
have
I
this
do.
information at your fingertips.
Again, every year I say I'm gonna read the whole Bible. I have like 7 different things, and none of them have
Yes.
been
Okay.
completed.
Well, okay. If you have the books, that information is in the books. But also, if you have the Bible app, they have a Bible plan to read the Bible on. They have a Bible plan on the Bible app.
Yeah, yeah.
And that information I just read is also in there. And I definitely recommend those because I don't know, I love them. It was like adult workbooks, like for like it was like I was giving
Mhm.
myself adult vacation Bible school. That's how I
Actually,
felt.
you know why I stopped? Yes. I stopped because I wanted to be able to discuss it with someone, and I
Oh.
couldn't get it right doing it by myself, and so I ended up just putting it down. But
Oh,
I definitely
we
think
can totally do that. Honestly, we could
we
just
should.
use those for prompts for the
Yeah,
show.
we should. I gotta go
Yeah.
find mine because that was like a few years ago. That one
Yeah,
I've
mine are on my
you
shelf
know.
right here. I think I filled out some, but actually, you know what? I don't know if I ever filled out my New Testament ones because I was doing them a lot in the Old Testament and then I kind of fell off, but I was still reading the Bible, but I
Yeah,
wasn't necessarily doing the workbook. So I think that's a great idea. Find them.
yeah.
Find them, find them, find them. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our third segment. Our third segment is going to be what are you praying for this week? So this segment will be like whatever me and Mo are praying for, or if we're praying for someone, or if you want to drop prayer requests in the comments or in wherever you're listening, wherever they leave something, leave a prayer request and we will pray for you on the next episode. So Mo, are you praying for anything this week?
This week, I am praying for healing and health. We've got the measles popping out.
Oh, yeah,
I still have kids in daycare and elementary school, and I'm trying not to worry.
yeah.
I'm trying just to believe that my children are protected and covered. But that is heavily, heavily on my mind this week.
Yeah. I have been thinking about the measles thing too. I actually called my mom to make sure she vaccinated me. I said, "You did give me that, right?" And she was like, "Yes." And I knew I vaccinated Omari and I still went through his records like, "Let me see when he got it. When was the booster? Does he need another one?" I'm like, "Is there supposed to be a third? Like, do I need to bring him up there?"
Well, Eden's only 2, and so I went back and looked at hers. I was like, "Have you had it yet, girl? You okay? Okay, let me just check
Yes, I'm
in."
making sure I can't play around with that because I mean I can't believe it's making a comeback. Honestly, like I thought it was literally eradicated. Like at this point, polio go come back. Like what's happening?
And yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but
No,
yeah, I
yeah, we're not
definitely
gonna
think
do that.
about
But
that and the
yeah,
vaccinations, and they already had an infant pass away, and I'm just like,
yeah, I
oh
saw that.
Lord.
I saw that, and that's why I was so like, let me make sure because honestly, I don't know. Who is not and who isn't. So I know that we will be okay because that's why I was like, let me make sure. My mom went to get her booster because she's older just because we know it's rodeo time and we're going places. She
Hmm.
volunteers like with the council, like she's always places, and we're just like that is, and I don't want to just deal with all those symptoms. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I praying for this week? I've been praying for, well, really yesterday I was praying for my anxiety, but I've just been praying for like discipline, like that God like really guides me on everything that I need to be doing and really shows me like where I need to be and where I don't need to be, what's more important, just like more guidance. And then, or like even in parenting, like it's like Omari changes every day and not just be trying to keep up. Oh yeah, I guess maybe I should say that for the audience to know. My son has autism, so it's a journey all the time. Like our speech therapist just quit, so praying for a new one. Yeah,
Mm.
but you know what's crazy? I don't have an already answered prayer, but I kind of have an answered prayer. So was praying about that, like the speech therapist quit, and me and his dad were just like, actually, he said it. He said, you know what? Because we were trying to like make him go after his ABA therapy, which would be a long day for him, and we just know it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? Just discontinue with them. We'll find a new provider. He was like, God has not failed us yet, and I was like, whoa. I was like, look at the word from Omar, But I was like, okay. I was like, you're right. So we've been praying about it. And I got an email yesterday that his occupational therapist is now adding speech therapy to their services. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
well, look at that. So I don't know yet. I did have a praise break, but I said, okay, I'm praising God in advance, but I emailed her to make sure that the speech therapist can still visit him at the clinic versus me having to take him somewhere because that's just what doesn't work. So
yeah.
that's what I'm praying for. Just, all around, just family, making sure, just family stuff. That's really it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. I hope that works out for you.
I hope so too, because he's been making so much progress in his speech that I'm just like, I don't want to take the foot off the gas on the speech therapy. But
Hmm.
I mean, it'll be fine because I think even if we know if it's a few weeks without it, or me and Omar and my mom and like my family, we kind of know the techniques that they've been doing. So it's like we can still be working with him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
Yeah.
it's the whole thing. But yeah. Okay, so like I said before, next week we will be reading Matthew 1 and 2. Matthew 1 goes through the genealogy of Christ and the nativity of Christ. No.
Mhm.
And then Matthew 2, we talk about the wise men and Jesus returning back from Egypt and all the things. But other than that, that is it for our first episode. We really thank you for tuning in. Wherever you're watching this, you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that I need you to do. If you're listening to this on your favorite listening platform, give me a rating, give us a rating, leave a review, tell us what you don't like, leave a prayer request. And on that note, we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks.